Finger limes are expensive, so I made a garden to see if I could grow them myself, and 2 years later, I'm here with quite the update. It took me years to even find this luxury fruit, so you can imagine how excited I was to bring them home and finally open them for the very first time to see what it looked like inside. I cut the smooth, leathery, elongated skin open and it burst with thousands of beautiful, transparent, juicy pearls that create a popping, snap-like sensation in your mouth. They aren't called the Caviar citrus for nothing. And I was lucky because I found one tiny little seed inside, and it was so small I wasn't even sure if it would grow at all. So I took it and I placed it directly in my grow box so we would optimize our chances of sprouting this tiny little baby seed and growing a finger lime plant. I also peeled the outer layer of skin off of the seed because that's helped my other citrus plants grow faster in the past. But finally, the hardest part came, waiting to see if this would even sprout. And as I waited for our little fish egg plant to grow, I stumbled upon more finger limes at a little market, so I decided I would bring them home and search for more seeds, since I was kind of worried that that one little seed may not even grow at all. And I paid $75 for these, okay, so I was thinking they better grow. Rafi and I were really excited to open these because they grow in different pigments. Some are red, pink, yellow, and green. So I wanted to see if we got lucky when we cut it open inside and got a different colored finger lime this time. I took the first one and cut it open straight down the middle, but silly me, of course, I cut straight through the seed in this one. Oh man, off to a great start, aren't we now? I smelled it and it smelled so good, like an intense lemon-lime hybrid. I figured I would see if the seed in this one was salvageable to grow into a plant. I squeezed the lime from the bottom to release all of the juicy pearls and got really excited to see one little tiny seed, probably the smallest one I've ever seen in my life. So I set that aside and got to opening the other one. Not without tasting the first one though, because you probably are wondering what they even taste like, and it's safe to say I love them. They taste amazing. They taste even better knowing that finger limes even almost went extinct in Australia, so to taste a luxury fruit made it even tastier. They're considered a superfruit. The skin is even used to make superfood powders, and they have a very intense citrus flavor. Not really quite so sour, just a bit tart. It almost has a sweet aftertaste, and the pulp quite literally pops right in your mouth. It's like eating a twist of lemongrass, lime, grapefruit, and pineapple or something. It's honestly a one-of-a-kind citrus caviar, and it really does pair well with sushi, cocktails. They are very versatile, and they pop on each other's ass. So I got back to opening the other one, and unfortunately there was only one seed that was maybe viable enough to grow in that one, so I set it aside with the other one to get ready for growing. But I was excited to see that this one had a little bit of a pink hue to the flesh, and it was so pretty. I squeezed out all the pulp, taste tested them again, opened the very last one I bought, was very pumped to see that this one was even more pink than the last one. It was so beautiful. Tasted it, and then finally I got the seeds I found on a damp piece of paper towel and started germinating them. A few weeks passed, I went to check on them, and I was really disappointed to see that no growth was happening. And even though I wasn't throwing them out at this point, I still really wanted to grow my own finger lime plant. And I figured, if I can't get my finger lime to grow into a plant that looks like this, with actual finger limes growing from my plant, then I must grow a close second. The one and only beautiful cousin, a regular lime. And at that point in time, I had already tried growing limes, but every time I opened them up, they didn't have seeds. And I soon realized that regular limes actually don't grow seeds. It's the key limes that hold the seeds. But key limes are really hard to find in Canadian grocery stores. So when I finally got lucky, like really lucky, and found key limes one day in the grocery store, I immediately brought them home, opened them up, and revealed seeds that looked so growable. Unlike the tiny seeds in our finger limes, these key limes were bursting with seeds. So I took it, removed the outer layer of skin from the seeds, got them on a damp piece of paper towel, and waited. After just 1 week, my seeds sprouted. I let them grow for 7 more days in the paper towel until the tails grew bigger and looked a little something like this, and then I finally decided that they were ready for soil. I was excited because these limes were growing way better than the finger limes were, so we were on the right track to growing our own limes from seed, even if they weren't the Caviar ones. I placed the seeds in soil, watered it regularly, and kept it in a sunny spot. The first week passed, and then the second, and then the third, and week after week our plant just kept looking better, and it started to grow quite large. So when it looked like this, I decided to repot it into a bigger home and watched it grow into its new pot, into this. And as it grew, I somehow kept finding more key limes in the Canadian store, so every time I saw them, I would obviously bring them home and cut each one open, admire the little key lime that I spent so many years searching for, and save all of the seeds so I could try germinating them, obviously. I literally just wanted my entire property to be filled with an abundance of limes growing basically out of my ears. Okay, it's safe to say I just had a party of lime seeds germinating successfully. And when I went to open that paper towel to see if these ones even sprouted, I indeed saw little tails poking out of the paper towel, and once I saw that these sprouted, I planted them in soil so our bigger mama plant could have a little child plant growing with it. So now, you can imagine how patiently I'm waiting for both my finger lime seeds to germinate and my key lime plant to grow bigger, and I'm confident that soon we're gonna have limes growing in my very own backyard. So the moral of the story here is that I am never gonna have to pay $75 for Caviar limes ever again.